This session is intended to give you support with any questions you have or outstanding queries about what's been a very stressful and unusual results period, and also to talk a little bit about what we know about going into 2021. Now, I'm going to be hopefully providing information that is useful for BTEC teachers as well as computer science teachers in terms of these being the qualifications that I support here at Pearson. So we're going to talk about what needed to be known about results days, what was different, how the appeals are set up. Then we'll talk about the autumn 2020 exam series, and then talk about everything that we know about in terms of 2021 today. So of course, results day was the 13th and 20th of August. And the things that were different were obviously that there were no grade boundaries, examiner reports or access to scripts, and the normal inquiry about results processes weren't in place. We had to go straight to appeals. So what do the appeals consist of? There's some links in this presentation to FAQs and the details about the different service levels for appeal. Now, as things unfolded in the latter stages of the results, or in the evening before the level 2 results came out, some of these services changed because of the fact that we were changing to award CAGs, both in GQ, that being the GCSEs and A-levels, as well as the BTECs. But it took us some time to figure out exactly how that was going to work. Service 1 and Service 2 appeals can still be submitted in the cases of you think that we've actually made an error, or in the case that you sent faulty data or faulty student or cohort data to us. So there's some links on there that might be useful for those of you that might still be in the appeal process or considering still doing one. In terms of the autumn series, in my subjects, we don't have a GCSE GCSE ICT anymore, so it's just the GCSE Computer Science, and its dates are Monday the 2nd and Friday the 6th of November for the Component 1 and Component 2. So this is a series that's available to only to students who had entered or have proof that they had intended to enter for the Summer 20 series. The International GCSE Computer Science is available. They're the dates for the 2 components there as well. And in the international specification, that series is open to any students that are following that course, so they don't need to show that they had an entry for 2020. Okay, so international A-level in IT, the 4 components, you can see the dates there. The table on the right-hand side talks about the start-finish exam series dates and the entry deadlines in the final column as well. Just to say, there are no BTECs in the autumn timetable because there is a January session for most BTECs. That will be the next live session available. So for the GCSE, AS and A level, students who had entries for summer 2020 or students and centres that can prove there is an intention to sit are eligible to make entries for that autumn series. Whereas for all of the international centres and international specifications, all students following those qualifications can make new entries or resits as they feel fit. So there's a link there to more information for the international autumn series. So 2021, there was an off-qual consultation which closed on the 16th of July, and there's a link to the decisions there. That consultation covered the general qualifications, so GCSEs and A-levels. And for certain subjects, there were specific things changed. The only subject that is relevant for us that was covered by that consultation would be the GCSE Computer Science 2016 spec, which is due to have its final series in 2021. And we've now published the changes that have been agreed to for that series. And basically the programming project, which was 20 hours programming project that was a requirement for the qualification, has had significant changes to the control requirements for that. We can, I can show you that here. So we've confirmed from Ofqual that the 20 hours timetable no longer has to be completed under supervised conditions. Students can now work on their project at home. Additionally, we will not be taking in any student work in May 15th, 2021. You also will not, it has now been confirmed, need to submit a authentication form or a head of center declaration. For BTEC, we're running a little bit behind the GQ. So for GCSEs and A levels, it's true that there have been some good changes made for the 2021 cohort. In BTEC, we're working really hard at the moment with Ofqual and DFE to agree on approaches to mitigate the problems that you're going to have with restricted access, both to students and equipment for 2021. I've been through all of my slides that I just wanted to use as a structure to get through what we had to talk about, but I want to open up the floor now so that everyone can ask questions. And while you're thinking about that, I'm going to throw up our web pages and show you our computer science FAQs, where to find them. So if you go qualifications, GCSE, computer science, the 2016 spec, because that's the cohort who will have 2020. And you can see here, summer 2021 exam support. So if you click through to there, Ofqual confirmed that there will be changes to the 2021 series. It describes what we have here. And then if you click on here, it takes you through to the course materials and summer 21 exam support. There are some FAQs and a summary of the assessment arrangements for summer 2021. Hi,
hello.
Hi.
Yeah,
you were muted.
Hi. Thanks for the training as well. Just wanted to very quickly check the new grade boundaries, because you've mentioned that the boundaries are going to be changing. Could you very quickly show me where those are, if there is a new spreadsheet to follow? Now, the course that I am doing is the level 2 BTEC Digital Technologies, Digital IT.
So in terms of grade boundaries for DIT, there was a change to the spec some time ago for the Tech Awards. Let me just show you. Bear with me, and I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yes, we can, yeah.
So the specification that you see here on the website, you should see that it's issue 3.
Okay.
Okay, and if you look, this was September 18, so it's quite a long time ago it was done. I think there's a summary here of the changes. Here's the issue 3 changes: points threshold updated in the grade table, page 64.
Mm-hmm.
So if we go to that, final grading and awarding, you see that points for internal components have not been changed. So here's a change bar. So there's been some change to the awarding here. So internally assessed components, same points for the grades.
Mm-hmm.
Externally assessed components, same points for the grades.
Yep.
And this is the table that was changed. So the points threshold to get a level 2 pass is now 72. In the previous version of the spec, it was a number lower than that.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with these changes. I was just double checking that I'm on the same page.
Yeah,
That's
there's
great.
been no further change to those grade boundaries.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Tim.
In terms of the 2021 cohort, we want to talk to our teachers and say that there is tangible changes that you can assume for delivery in 2021 to help you with the restricted access to students and equipment.
Okay.
I can't say it right now because we've made recommendations, proposals, as have the other awarding bodies to DFE, and we haven't had confirmation that we can go ahead and implement them yet. So we're completely restricted in terms of 2021. You know, it's being dealt with to a certain extent like a business as usual year. We know that it's anything but business as usual, and we are working really, really hard on your behalf to have something tangible to say, but we can't say anything yet.
Yeah, no, that is completely understandable.
But to please keep in touch.
So is this Tim?
Yeah, Tim Brady. Yeah.
Oh, hi. Sorry, nice to meet you. I was going to say I'm in the Facebook group. I've got a couple of random questions. I'm sorry, I'm not sure how many people are in here. I don't want to take up too much time.
No problem. There are 12 people, but no one else is particularly busy asking questions. So I'm glad to have the chance to listen to somebody else's voice. I've had one question about BTEC IT Level 3.
Okay.
Are there any changes? And in terms of delivery, Halima, same answer as I'm just giving Josh. We're working really hard to come forward with tangible, with something really tangible and helpful for you. Right now, we can't give any details because nothing has been agreed to. At the very least, we will be working with you to find ways to streamline the assessment to try and lessen your workload. But just watch this space is all I can say.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Josh, what were you going to ask?
So my question it's slightly to do with COVID, slightly not to do with COVID. The way the exams are, well, the way the whole course is marked. I was an NQT last year. I got told I'm teaching this, so I've had to learn the course pretty quick. The exam, we found our kids, they flopped a bit the exam in February. The year 11s that have just left, and that's obviously impacted the way the grading works. Has impacted their whole grade. So they got like level 2 pass and merits in their coursework, but like some of them got like a level 1 pass in the exam, and it's brought their whole grade down to like a level 1 merit or level 1 pass.
Okay.
And obviously, they couldn't reset it because of COVID. But is there any plan? I don't know if it's the way BTECs are structured, the marking, or if Pearson have chosen to do it. But if you can't get higher than your lowest module, is there a plan for that to change at all?
So the precise details, I happen to have it on the screen now. The points govern everything, and there's no chance that that's going to change. We were forced to make a change to the grade table because of pressure from Ofqual and DFE.
Yeah.
But the methodology isn't going to change. So you basically add points from internally assessed units, you add that to points from externally assessed units, and that tells you what your overall award is.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I was under the impression that your overall grade was based on your lowest module that you got.
No, the three numbers are added together. I mean, obviously the lowest module will have a downward pull. And the other thing to remember is that the two internal modules are 30%, and the external is 40%.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So it has a slightly heavier weighting, but the numbers just add. There is on the website a grade calculator. Email me after this if you like, and I'll give you a link to it, because you're able to play with different numbers.
Yeah, great.
Okay?
Yeah, it was just, yeah, brilliant. That does answer it, actually. Thanks. It was just a question about the year 11s and just left that, yeah, because they did flop their February exam. But oh, yeah, thanks. I'll just listen for the next.
Okay. So Mary, you had your hand up, and I'm happy to hear you. At the moment, you're self-muted, so if you can unmute yourself. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Tim, and I'm glad to talk to you directly about this, because it's been a question that I've been asking, and I've been somehow I've been unpopular. It's regarding center-based assessed units, which we assess on student assignments. Now, with these units, you will find that students have reference material, which they tend to reference or directly copy and paste and refer to that. And sometimes the percentage of that referenced material can be a bit high, and that's where my unpopularity comes in, because some teachers have a leeway of getting students get away with it, but the actual BTEC does not provide the guidance of which is what percentage is acceptable and what percentage is not acceptable, because the software, the Turnitin software that we use to accept work from students, it actually highlight where they've copied, and it gives you the percentage. And that's where my question is, what is acceptable? Is it not acceptable at all, or there is acceptable amount of percentage that we will accept as a student has done their work and they've explained that? But when it comes to 70% copied work, that's where I normally go mad.
Okay. Mary, I'm sorry, I don't understand your question. I mean, with BTEC qualifications, we ask you to deliver 100% of the content, and
yes.
then the assessment.
And when it comes to students doing the work, they normally have some of the internet-based research. They come up with this, and when I try to say you cannot do that, other people will say, other teachers allow me to do that. There is no particular specific guideline from BTEC to say you shouldn't allow this.
Right. When you're doing assessment, the teaching and learning is free for you to do as you see fit, and then you set a formal assessment, and the assessment is managed in your center. You are in control of exactly the conditions that are used for that assessment. We require that teachers that are doing that are looking at students' work will sign an authentication to say that this is students' work and it's their work and nobody else's work. That does not mean that when they're doing the work they have to have the internet switched off. It doesn't mean that they have to not have access to prior work or stuff that they've done in classroom. But those detailed controls are very well publicized in a document called the Guide to Internal Assessment.
Where do I get that document?
I can provide you with links to that document. I recommend you email me at teachingict@pearsdon.com. Email me and ask me for that link, and then I'll reply to you with the link in it. But also, your quality nominee in your center is actually responsible for how assessments are run for BTECs in your center. So that's a person that should be available for you to talk to discuss and understand exactly what is expected in terms of control conditions for your center and your students. You shouldn't be feeling like there's no information. We've got documentation that talks about the broad guidelines, and then the responsibility to make sure that that happens correctly is there's a person in your center called the quality nominee who's really worth getting in touch with.
Thank you.
Yeah, pleasure. Just email me and I'll make sure I get you a link to that document, which is really good to read, but then also absolutely imperative that you make contact with your quality nominee.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
David Barlow, do you have a question about the Computer Science 2020 spec, David? I haven't talked about it today because it's for first teaching this September, so great to hear that you're delivering it, I hope. If you have any particular questions, do ask, but at this stage, in terms of that spec, subject content delivery, we don't have anything tangible to say. It wasn't part of the consultation because it didn't have an assessment window in 2021. But I'm happy to answer any questions.
So I have one left, if that's all right.
Absolutely.
So it's Josh again. So with regards to claiming for coursework, I'm pretty sure our school claimed for Unit 1 last year. Does that just mean we don't have to do it and we put in the work so far? Do we need to submit the work we've done so far, or do teachers just put in the... No? Okay.
So if you CAG'd component 1 for the DIT, in other words, you estimated what students you thought would reach, those results should have been given, and that enables you to sort of put to bed those results. Now, there is an outstanding issue about students that have been given their centre assessed grade result but aren't happy with it and want to resubmit or some process of trying to improve it. Now, within BTEC, the quality assurance process has a very, very limited ability to do any kind of resubmissions or resits, and indeed, in most cases, a resit is clamped at a pass, so it wouldn't. And it'd be a pass, a level 1 pass in the case of the Tech Award. So
yeah, this is year 10s, so I've still got a year to go until they get their final.
So if they're content with their component 1 banked result, that's great. If they're not content, or you as a teacher are not content, or there will be at some point, we will have to put in place a process whereby those components can be resubmitted, but we literally do not know what that process is at the moment.
Okay,
so that's something to keep in touch. I mean, if you feel like en masse all of your students want to resubmit because they think they can do better than what has been banked for them, then make contact with us and we'll try and figure out what the process for that can be. But the idea for giving year 10s a CAG was that they would go into their year 11 not having to worry about component 1 again.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping to find out, basically. Yeah, I'm not too worried about their grades. It's just whether we had to do anything else on it. Because I've got my first lesson with them on Thursday for this year. It's their first lesson in year 11.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to really figure out, so I can tell them, right, Unit 1 sorted. That's fine. Yeah. Just really.
Which GCSE computer science are you delivering for this September? Are you staying with OCR?
We are doing OCR, yeah. But I've got to say, I have been looking through the Pearsdon one. I didn't realise you did a GCSE in computer science.
Ours is nice as well. Make contact with me if you want to talk about it. It's got on-screen component, so the programming part of it is quite practical.
Oh,
so
brilliant.
I think it's a nice qual.
Yeah, thanks. No, I'm going to read through the spec, but yeah, I might send you an email about it.
Yeah, teaching ICT at Pearsdon.com. They haven't switched off that email address yet. I know there are plans that it will go away, but for sure, for now, use it. It's the easiest way to get in touch.
Brilliant. Thanks for all the help. I've got to shoot off for my last lesson.
Yeah, pleasure, pleasure.
Thanks a lot, Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Hi.
Hi, just a really quick one. I'm not actually an IT teacher, but I do support IT teachers across our MAT, and they are delivering the BTEC in IT. I joined a little bit late because I was on another call earlier. I just wanted to clarify, I heard as I joined in that you were talking about you guys are kind of working on perhaps streamlining assessment. Was that for the BTEC?
Yeah, so we really know and understand that this academic year is not business as usual, and so we've been lobbying hard and making proposals to DFE and Ofqual to be able to give you something, all the vocational teachers. Same with the other awarding organisations. It's not just us. But as of today, we don't have anything tangible back. We haven't had anything approved or okayed. So we're very, very limited in what we can say. The worst case scenario is that we will have documents that refer to both our BTEC level 2s and level 3s on a unit by unit basis, talking about specific areas where in terms of assessment we can be flexible in terms of, say, maybe there are elements of learning aim A that we can evidence in the assessment for learning aim B, and so save a requirement for some assessment. But they would be the least, I think, that we're going to be able to talk about. But at the moment, we can talk about nothing. At the moment, we're still having to sign up to this nonsensical business as usual, all assessment, all content.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say. So technically, as schools are going back now, it is technically business as usual. Their assessment plans should continue the same way that it is. The learning aims will continue until we hear otherwise.
Exactly. That's the only way we can proceed, and it's really frustrating. But we're on it. I can only say it's an issue that is at the very front of our mind, and we're working hard to try and get to the point where we can talk sensibly about it. Because GCSEs have given, right? There's been some things given. I mean, not every GCSE has got anything. Some GCSEs have got nothing for 2021, but at least they did a consultation and looked at it. So we're working really hard for the BTECs to come up with a good mitigation plan for the 2021 cohort.
Fantastic. I think that's pretty much. Oh yeah, my other question was, I'm also supporting BTEC teachers in other subjects. Can I assume that this is kind of obviously business as usual for everyone, and if there is some sort of resolve, it will be for all BTECs, not just for IT?
That's exactly right. You can assume that, yes, it will be for all BTEC Nationals, BTEC Tech Awards, all the ones that are schools and college related. I'm not sure about higher nationals, but yeah, it's going to be, it will be suite wide once we get any approval as to what goes on.
Great, fantastic. Thank you so much. That's all
okay,
right.
Deandra, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi, I teach at an FE college. We teach BTEC from level 1 right up to level, HNC, HND with Pearson's. We haven't talked much about, that's why we haven't really been asking questions, because you haven't really talked much about the HE side of things. It's been more about the school side of things.
Yeah, go ahead, Debbie.
What you've been talking about, is there anything different that we need to know about as an FE college, because we teach the 16 to 19-year-old cohort?
Yeah, so if you're doing the post-16 level 2 BTEC technicals, they are part of our of what we've put proposals into DFE for mitigations. Same with BTEC Nationals level 3. The only one that you've mentioned is the higher nationals. There's been no submission, as far as I know, to try and do anything to mitigate the content or assessment burden for higher nationals.
Right. And somebody else brought up about the 220 spec. We're still on the 216. Is that still fine for this year?
That's completely correct. 2016 has its final session in 2021, summer
Right.
of 2021. And the one mitigation that we've had there is that the 20-hour programming project is no longer a required in-classroom under supervision requirement.
Oh, that's new.
I showed that. Are you able to see my screen, Debbie?
I am. Yes, you can see through.
Just watch. I'm going to go to where the information is for that. Computer Science, the 2016 spec, and you see here summer 21 exam support.
Right, brilliant. So we would do the changeover for next year or year after.
Yeah, you should be delivering the 2020 spec for your new learners. See here, 2021 exam. There's FAQs for 21 and a summary of the assessment arrangements. And basically what it says in the summary is that you won't have to do an authentication form. You won't have to do a head of center declaration form. It doesn't need to be done in supervised conditions.
Right,
and
okay.
You don't have to send us any work.
Oh, that's lovely. Okay, thank you very much for that. That's clarified that for me. Thank
Pleasure,
you.
Debbie. Pleasure. It's 2 o'clock. I'm going to close it down if not. Thank you very much for your time.